Hey everybody, and welcome back to the On the Map Challenge on Alma, Missouri. Today is June 2nd, and it is just almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we are pulling up to the store here, and as you can see, we are picking up some new equipment. Me and Todd are here today, so we have just jumped straight into it this episode. We're going to be showing off our new purchases here at the store, but before I talk a little bit about them and what we're going to be doing today and showing some stuff off, I'm actually going to let Todd get those hooked up, so I'm just going to pull out of the way to let him hook up. So yep, me and Todd are here today at the store. Like I said, I brought my trailer and my skid steer down because we've got heads to load, but we have a new forage harvester. That's what we're coming to get. As you can see, we are slowly spending all of our money from soybeans, and we're doing it like this. We're buying stuff we actually need, and check this thing out. I debated for a very long time if we should get a pull behind or just a self-propelled harvester, forage harvester, and after reading a lot of comments and looking at a lot of stories, I figured let's save the money and we'll just grab a pull behind and we'll see how it works for us. It's a Case FHX 300. It's even got an inoculant tank on here, and it came with 2 heads and a deal package, so we actually got this thing for, I won't say a great deal, but it was fair, right? Like, it could have been a lot more expensive, but this thing, I think it's like a 2012 model harvester, and then these are very new heads. I think this one's 2019 model. This one might be a little newer than that, but yeah, check them out. We've got a forage harvester now. So I'm going to let Todd go ahead and take that home. He's going to run it to the farm. But I must say I'm really happy with what we have bought. I was worried we weren't going to find a good forage harvester, but it was either this one or there's like a few Kloss self-propelled. There's even a big John Deere, but we're not spending $600,000 on a new forage harvester. So now I'm going to load these bad boys on the trailer. That's why I brought the skid steer. Hopefully this will go pretty smooth. Just gotta slow and steady put them on here. I'm actually going to turn around this way and move them towards the front. I could not have pulled that trailer in a worse spot to load these. And then we should just be good to set it down right there. We need to be careful with these heads because they're practically brand new. They even got a brand new coat of paint on them. I think they used to be like gray, and the shop here, or wherever these came from, they got repainted to a new black, which I think looks really sweet. I'm not really sure where these came from originally, but the dealer in town had them. They've moved all their stuff to another lot, which is why there's hardly anything out here. But this is the original dealer. They brought them down here so they'd be a little closer to where I'm at, so it wouldn't be as hard to come and get them. But yeah, the Alma, Missouri, I think it's like Case and New Holland dealership. They've got it. It's the closest dealership except for the Deere dealership. That's about 30 minutes down the road from here, and we all know I've favored that dealership a good bit. There's some good guys over there, but I think I'm going to start doing a partnership with the Case dealer down there because they've got some really good stuff. But yeah, there we go. We got everything on the trailer. Before I actually head back to the new farm or the dairy, I'm going to spin around here and head to the gas station quickly because we are just about out of luck here with the gas. Make sure I don't get pulled out on by some car. Earlier I about got pulled out by a oh, never mind, we got pulled out by a train. Hopefully we won't run out of gas sitting here. That was some crazy timing. But yeah, no, headed down here, I got pulled out by a van just back there. Just sat there at the stop sign, saw me coming. Todd was behind me, and then they just pulled right out in front of me. So, well, second time that's happened today. So yeah, we'll ease on down here. The gas station is not too far away. I believe it's down here at the anhydrous hookup, just past the car wash. Yep, there it is, right there. All right, we'll fill this bad boy up, and we will be on the road. All right, there we go. $55 for a tank of gas. That seems pretty expensive to me, but maybe the tank's just a little big on this truck. You never know. All right, now we can head off to the dairy. I feel pretty cool hauling around some new equipment like this. We usually get it all delivered to us, so it feels nice to kind of show it off around town. Like anybody would know this is for a forage harvester. I did let Todd get a little bit of a head start back to the dairy, but he doesn't actually know where to put the forage harvester, so he's just going to be sitting there wondering what to do with it. I'll probably still catch up to him though. So yeah, maybe a little bit less about the forage harvester and a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. Now that it's summertime, it means things are going to start ramping up as per usual on Alma, so we do have a good bit of stuff to do, but I can't really tell you everything we're going to be doing yet. I have to wait to the farm, and then I'll kind of show you guys, because obviously we had about 500 grand in the previous episode whenever we sold our soybeans. Now we're down to 129,000 after we've bought everything, and we bought about 6 different things. I mean, you've obviously seen 3 of the few things we've bought. It's Forge Harvester, and actually we are pretty much on time showing you guys the stuff because we just got the paperwork done, and actually the guys just got done bringing them this morning, if that will give you a hint at all. And we'll look at that. Just like I said, he had no clue where to put that Forge Harvester at, and he went in the shop, left the tractor on. I'm gonna have to get on to him about that. He keeps on doing that, just leaving the doors open and the tractor running. We'll get these heads off real quick, and then we'll put the Forge Harvester. We'll probably just stick it in this shed right here for now. So I will take these heads over here. We'll just set them in the grass for now because I would like to organize some of the stuff and give it an actual home to sit in under a shed. I was going to put these heads under the lean-to at the back of this shed right here, but I changed my mind because it's kind of hard to get back in there even with the skid steer. Okay, there we go. Both of them are off the trailer. Alright, I am just going to set the skid steer about right here for now because we'll probably be needing it later on, but for right now we don't need it, and there's no point in putting it in the shop if we're going to need it later. And then I'm actually also going to quickly run the trailer over to the shop over here, and then we'll get to talking about the new stuff and what all we've got to do. And I actually think I'm just going to stick this trailer right here. Usually I put it up in the grass up there a little higher on the hill, but we'll just stick it right here in the shade. And I will do the same with my truck. Just kind of park it over here on the grass because Bill and Owen are coming to the farm this afternoon to do some work. Got to leave them a little room to park and turn around. I think Bill's even got a trailer with some stuff on it. We might have to unload some pallets of seed and whatnot. And the keen-eyed of you may notice we took the duals back off on the 8110. We had them on for about 3 months or so, and we took them back off. But check this out. This is going to be our chopping setup most likely. That's why we took them off. And if it's not on the chopper, it's going to be running boxes. So I think it's a pretty gnarly setup if you ask me. Then I'll just leave this right here. I can't actually back it in all the way because of these side markers are going to hit the shed, but that'll be good for now. Alright, so what have we bought with our soybean money? That's what I'll just call it, selling our crops. What did we purchase? Well, if I come to the map here, I believe you'll be interested to see that we bought 2 brand new fields back here in the bottom corner. We do really need to step up buying fields. We've just been buying a lot of equipment, and it's left a lot of fields on the table just sitting here that we could buy, like this one down here, any of these. So I'm gonna kind of give myself a rule where we can only buy equipment every 2 years now. I feel like that's probably a better, maybe not though. I mean, upgrades can still apply, but we need to focus more on buying fields because if we just upgrade, I mean, this isn't the upgrade the equipment challenge on Alma. It's on the map. We got to buy fields. So yeah, besides the motivational talk, I think you will be interested to see we have 2 new fields. The cool thing about these, we finally have a pasture. This is grass. Let me turn it on. There you go. This is grass. So it is a seeded type of hay, and we're going to cut this with a disc vine, and it is a full-fledged pasture. We will have bales off of this field, and then this field right north of it at this, I like this little intersection right here. It's really close to our dairy. This big long rectangular field is going to be our cornfield for chopping silage. So we're going to run boxes from the stave silage right here out to this field, chop, and then head back. So I mean, because this dirt road, you know, there's hardly any cars that ever come down it. It's kind of our private dirt road is how I like to think about it, because it goes right in front of our farm. Both of our farms runs all the way down through our fields. And then, so yeah, that's enough of me rambling. Check these 2 fields out. That's 2 more to our fleet, and we are not stopping anytime soon. The next thing we have bought is over this way, and I think we should just go ahead and show that we finally have some dairy cattle. I went in here earlier and cut the fans on, so hopefully there's enough cross breeze flowing in through here. We've got the curtains open and the doors are all open, so I mean, it's pretty hot outside, but these girls should be alright. We got enough air flowing in here. So yeah, they just came this morning and dropped the last 60 off. I can't remember which barn they're in, but we've been doing some moving around, making sure everybody's nice and homely. And while we do need some bedding in here pretty soon, I think they're doing alright so far. They definitely seem pretty happy. But if we walk down the track, we've actually got more stuff out here. So we've got 60 in this barn. Now we bought 127 head total, which was about, if 200 grand, somewhere in there. It might have been about 180. I don't know if Farming Simulator is accurate to real life, but yeah, this is pretty expensive. Out here in the pasture, we've got bulls. So we don't actually have a bull pen for them yet. So they're just out here in the pasture. There's about 7 of these guys out here, I believe. 6 or 7, something like that. And we've obviously got a track out here to feed them, so we will be doing that shortly. And then coming up here, we've also got 60 We've got 60 in this barn. So we've got a milking parlor and a free stall and even a pasture full of cattle. So I'm pretty happy and excited about that. And then whenever they produce calves, we're gonna have some calves in this area. They'll be roaming around in here and in the calf igloos. I kind of like that we've moved these around. We bought some bigger igloos for them. We've been doing some renovations on the farm here recently, so they've got plenty of room in here to walk around if we want to let them out of their igloos, and they're not running around the yard, so that's pretty cool. And then back here, I think it's in your best interest that I show you guys, we bought some new tarps for these hoop barns. You'll probably remember they were very dirty. They even had like a red outside right here, red trim. These are completely new tarps. We had a guy come in day before yesterday, put them on. I think the white looks a whole lot better, but there were like some holes at the back, and it was like leaking when it was raining and stuff. We had some weird drainage problems in between too. I don't really know how that was working, so we got all that sorted out. We got some new tarps on here, and yeah, just some smaller farm renovations have been going on to make this place look a little more homely, and I'm all for it. I think it looks great. So I would say it's now time to get on with our first actual farming task of the day. No more buying and looking around. We've got to head down to the old farm because we're going to pick up the 4555 and the disc bind, and we're going to come up here, show you guys in better detail the new fields we bought, and we're going to cut some hay today. I think it's best we get our first cutting off in June. I would have liked to in May, but obviously we didn't own the fields back then, so while we're driving through here, I think it's a pretty good time. We got to spray some weeds here soon. I'm not sure when. Some of these fields are less weedy than others, but they all need some herbicide. Mainly our corn ground and soybeans. All the wheat's been pretty taken care of, and it is shooting off like it always does. It's going to be ready about August, July to harvest. It looks awesome. But yeah, planting is finally done. It's been done for a few weeks. I mean, like, look at this field. It needs it pretty bad. The weeds are everywhere. I've noticed weeds have been a lot worse this year on the farm. I don't know if it's because we did less heavy tillage and we just kind of threw the field cultivator on everything but the corn ground. I don't know. But the fields that were corn on corn 2 years, like these two right here, they're doing surprisingly well, so I don't know what the deal is. We also need to broadcast some fertilizer at some point, so we will get the spreader out and hooked up to the 8110 or something, and we'll get some fertilizer out. We've got some extra we need to spread. So yeah, cutting hay, herbicide, fertilizer, bales. Yeah, we've got a lot on our hands. Now I'll just leave my truck here. I'll go take the 4555 down there and we'll cut some hay. I would actually kind of like to leave this tractor at the dairy, but then we wouldn't have a tractor here. If we ever needed to do something at the old farm, we'd have to bring one down here, and that's just no fun. We do have the Massey Ferguson here, so that's a tractor, but if we wanted to do something bigger like bush hog the pastures or something, well, we don't even have a bush hog, but if you see what I mean, we can't really do that with the Massey. We need a bigger tractor here, but we're kind of out of room and we're tractored out at the old farm, or at the new farm, so we'd probably need to move some stuff back to the old farm, which actually does kind of remind me, I did have to bring something up just so you guys would be aware of it. When we bought the dairy, it was obviously taken pretty good care of. The original owners built that dairy in the early 1960s, right? So I have uncovered the full history of that dairy farm we bought, and in the 80s they had a total renovation, completely overhauled everything, had a bunch of barns and stuff. But in the mid-90s, they had some kind of accident where two of the barns burned down or something. So in the I think it was early 2000s, if I'm like around 2002, they rebuilt the entire farm, and it is what it is today, except for the elevator, which I think they renovated in 2018. So most of the buildings on that farm are from early 2000s, and it really does pain me to say that after they remodeled the farm, they didn't bother renovating any of the buildings anymore. I mean, they're like 20 something years old, and they did not bother renovating them at all. The biggest one that makes me itch a lot is the pole barn that we've got all of our equipment in. The concrete is cracking at the back, specifically where the combine sits. I don't know if it's just because we're putting more pressure on it, having heavy machines back there, but it's probably like 4 feet of concrete, and it's just breaking up back there. It's really just bugging me. We've also got some electrical problems in the walls, and then the shop, the hydraulics are currently messed up on the door, so we've got the door all the way up, and we cannot shut it. There's some kind of leak in the roof. I don't know. It's a big mess. Fortunately, the barns are all right. It's just this big pole shed right here, and then that shop in the middle. We've taken all the equipment out of the shop, and everything's still in the pole barn. And with the remaining money we have, I think we're going to tear down those buildings and put something there to replace them, which really does suck because I think this farm looks amazing. It looks really pretty. We spent tons of money getting it to where it is right now. You can see the shop door has just been open, and then this pole shed back here, I'm sure you guys know which ones I'm talking about, but I'll give you a look. This one right here, they're kind of junk. Even to be 20 something years old, they are not in the best working conditions. So we're probably going to scrap the materials, and we're going to put up a new shed, actually probably 2 new sheds and a shop, because we need some extra storage at the dairy. And so how that's going to work is we're actually going to move the location of the building. So where the shop is right now, we're going to move it back up the hill where the pole shed is, so we'll have 2 shops kind of next to each other, if you see what I mean. We've got that big white shop that's right there at the entrance of the farm that we kind of use for cold storage. Well, it's heated, but we use it for storage. And so we're going to be replacing the big shop in the middle of the dairy with a shed, and we'll have some equipment to store in there because we're running out of room. Right, our pole shed is overcrowded. We need to kind of organize some of our equipment, and I think this will be the best way to do it, in my opinion. So yeah, we're going to move the location of the shop, put a big shed up next to the stave silos, and then we're probably going to go with a bigger shop also. So 2 sheds, bigger shop, brand new buildings. Won't have to worry about anything going wrong with them, hopefully. And I don't know about you guys, but that just seems like the best thing to do rather than spending a bunch of money on them, because we'll have brand new buildings. We'll try to get a good price on them. Hopefully it all goes well. If it doesn't, we have nothing to fall back onto, so that's why I'm a little worried. But yeah, that's just how that's going to go. We'll see in the near future. I'm going to be talking to some guys to give me a price on what they can do. But other than that, it's just talk right now, so I'll definitely let you guys know our plan in the future. But enough of me talking. We are currently mowing hay. I got a little bit distracted talking about future plans. Yeah, this is our new hay field. Kind of do a turnaround so you guys can see. Kind of hard for the map border being right here because we are right here at the edge of the map. But yeah, this field's about 10, 11 acres, something like that. It's not too bad at all. We'll probably get about 20, 30 bales each cutting off this field if we do it right. Maybe even more than that. It might actually be a little bigger than 10, 11 acres. I haven't really counted, and I can't remember from the paperwork. Yeah, there you go. There's a better look at it. It's a pretty nice looking field, if I must say. However, the yield is not looking the greatest. We're sitting at about 60, 70% yield, so that could be a whole lot better. Unfortunately, it does not. But now that we own this field, we can spend time on it, put a little money on fertilizer and lime and stuff for this hay field. And you guys know the drill. Usually when we buy a new field, it's always in pretty poor condition, so that's just something you gotta accept and make it better as you own it longer. But yeah, for us to not be using this 4555 in a good while, it's working great. It fired right up, but it always handles this disc bind very well. And I'm excited to say we've got some hay on the way. Now, we didn't get 3 cuttings in last year because we got a crap ton of bales. We're actually still feeding from the hay last year, believe it or not. We got so much hay off that one ginormous grass field. And I believe most of this is going to go to the dairy anyway, so we can have some hay to feed the cows now that we've got some dairy cattle. So with it being early afternoon, I think we're going to spend the rest of the afternoon out here getting this field cut, and I'm going to finish this field off with a time lapse. So I will meet up with you guys whenever we get this hay field cut, and we will go on to what we're going to be doing later this afternoon. So yeah, with that being said, I'll catch up with you guys in just a minute. And well, I would say that we are getting pretty close to being done with this field. It looks super great, cut super easy, not a lot of weeds. I'm very happy that we picked this field up. We've got a permanent pasture now, and we can still keep all of our crops in our normal fields because we don't have to worry about seeding grass every single year. Well, in this field we were gonna have to, but I'm talking about in the other pastures or a field that we could harvest for soybeans, or we've got our own field we don't have to keep replanting. And I would say we got this done in pretty good timing. This disc bind, it was such a needed upgrade. It definitely made short work of this field, and I can tell you that I'm also very happy the yield has gotten better the farther we've come down in the field. So yeah, everything's looking great. And so in no time we'll get it raked up and baled, because I don't think we're expecting any rain in the next couple weeks, which that's probably not the best thing because our crops, but we did just get a little bit of rain recently. It was about an inch. It rained for about 4 hours overnight and quit. Well, started about 5 o'clock in the morning and worked its way into early morning. I think it was yesterday or day before. But yeah, no rain coming in the forecast here soon, so we'll have this baled up and put in sheds before long, and hopefully we'll get to start chopping some corn. I'm just excited to start feeding cows. Use that mixer, then we'll have some milk to sell, and then once we start getting in that milk money, on the map challenge is going to take half as much time because we are going to be throwing checks and throwing out money at each of these landowners saying give me your field over and over again. And so yeah, it's just looking up from here. We're definitely going the right way. We're on the right track. And this oh well, never mind, I was going to say this should be our last cut right here, but we've got a little row. Shame. That's unfortunate. But yeah, field looks great. I'm super happy with it, and that should just about do it. There we go, all done. Now we're going to take this rig back to the old farm. We'll pressure wash it, or we might just slap it in the shed. We got a little bit of daylight left, so we'll probably pressure wash it because I know the tractor needed it beforehand. It's got a bunch of dirt that's been stuck on there for a little while now. Definitely might need a little bit of cleaning. And then while we're up here, I think it's a pretty good idea to show you guys this field right here. I'll actually pull off the side of the road and walk over here. So I'm sure everybody here probably knows that we've been harvesting this field right here since basically the start of On the Map. You can see our corn, how it's doing, looks pretty great. Does need some nitrogen. We got to put some fertilizer on the fields like I'd said. Here's our new field. You can see it's in this intersection. It is quite literally across the road. It's about, I don't know, I want to say it's about 10 acres too, just like this field. It's just longer, it's not as wide, but it might be bigger than that. And it's very square, so it's going to be super nice when we're running the forage harvester on it. And it's right here at the dairy, so we do not have to drive super far to haul boxes. And yeah, this is just the area it's in. It looks really, really nice. But yeah, it's probably the next thing we'll get to. We're either going to top dress these fields with fertilizer. We've got to spray herbicide, obviously, like I said, but we might either run the spreader or we might top dress some fertilizer with the sprayer. I'm not too sure yet. I'm deep in thought about what we need to do. But that was a pretty successful day, if I must say. We got a bunch of stuff done that we've been needing to, like buying the cows and whatnot. Still plenty of stuff to get to. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave you guys with that, and I will see you all on June 3rd tomorrow morning. Okay, well, it is now the morning of July 1st, and we are at the farm very early this morning because we are super busy. I actually skipped a day, so we went straight in July. Bill was out in the field all day yesterday. He got done super late last night and just parked the tractor right here and went home, so he's not going to be here for most of the morning. As you can see, the yard's a mess. There's tons of equipment down here. Starting yesterday afternoon and then early this morning, we started working on the sprayer because we are going to start spraying weeds today. Couldn't squeeze around that side, so we're going to come over here and show you what we've been doing. We are adding this front load system onto the sprayer so that we can load herbicide or fertilizer or whatever from the front, because we've had this mixing tank right here on the side, and that's the only way we've been able to load it. So this right here is a lot more simple, easy. We'll just stick it right there up to it and load it from the bottom. We don't have to climb up a ladder, shimmy hoses around the wheels. We don't have to do anything. We can just stick it right there, pull this sprayer right up next to the trailer or whatever, and we got them off of the sprayer trailer, so there was like a few extra hoses up under the tank, and we did some welding, some fabricating, and so yeah, that's what I've been working on. We're not totally done. I'm just taking a break here, filming some footage for you guys. And then to the 45-55, we also added some of these weights, which I think look slick, so that's why the tractor's sitting up here. We still got to take it back to the old farm, but We just haven't got it to it. And then this skid steer's just been sitting out here for the past day or two. So yeah, we're gonna get this bad boy cleaned off and put back in the pole shed for now, because we are done with spreading fertilizer. We called the co-op down here and we had him come to the dairy, and Bill was making rounds up and down the dirt road. He was out there for a good 8 hours or so spreading fertilizer. So yeah, he took one for the team and got it all knocked out. So we are gonna do all the herbicide spraying today. All right. That should be good. We'll put the sprayer back up, or the pressure washer. We'll get this guy put back in the shed. And for it to be almost 8 o'clock, it is 70 degrees out here, and feels pretty alright, but it's going to be hot today. And I know that the forecast says it's going to be 84, but it's supposed to get even warmer. That's that July temperature for you. We're just going to swing this right in here and back it up in this corner. That was a perfectly executed turn in. And so yeah, that's going to sit back here until we put lime on in the fall. Such a handy piece of machinery right here. I love that spreader. And I don't think we're going to be using the 8110 much today, so I'm just going to pull this guy up in its usual parking spot, and yeah, let's go ahead and start spraying. There are just a few things we've got to work on, but I think the front load is functional. I mean, we're about to try it out right now and see. We just had a few more, screws to loosen, stuff like that. For the most part, the front load should work perfectly fine. And to demonstrate, we're just going to pull right here to the tanks, and that green hose on the ground, we should just be able to start filling it up. Alright, there we go. Filling the sprayer up. These 10,000 gallon tanks right here are very helpful. I really like these. I really need to get one for some liquid fertilizer, maybe like a blue one we can set somewhere, because I really like filling these up and leaving them for when we need to use them. That's so handy. And then we are off to the races to our first field. I do think that the front load is leaking just a little bit, so the hoses might need a little bit of tightening up, but for the most part, it's doing awesome. So just about every field that we own needs to be sprayed. The wheat, the corn, the soybeans, we've really been lacking on spraying weeds this year. We've even got an automatic sprayer, or a self-propelled sprayer, and we've been slacking on weeds. But like I said, this year has just been worse for weeds for us. I don't know if anybody in the surrounding area, I mean, some of these fields look better than others, but ours in particular, especially this one right here, this field of wheat, I think we've already talked about it, just the weeds are out of control. Probably something we did with the tillage, like I talked about, but that's why herbicide exists, and we've got plenty of money to spend on it. So our first few fields are just down the road through the town. Some of these fields are more weedy than others, but they all have some weeds in them. So let's take a look. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit spotty with weeds, but it overall doesn't look that bad. I mean, this will be pretty manageable. We could have more than likely kept that crop cultivator and done some cultivation in between the rows of these soybeans and the corn, rather than putting herbicide out constantly. But I don't know, that row cultivator sure was pretty small, and I for one don't want to sit in a tractor all day cultivating 6 rows at a time. But this bad boy is going to get it done. We are flying through this field, and well, just like that, these soybeans look way better than they did when we started. All these spotty patches of weeds, they look kind of gross from up here actually. But yep, alright, there we go. One field down, 12 more to go, or something like that. Ran through some muddy spots in the field, but for the most part, this is going to be a whole lot better. Alright, now we're just going to head through town up the road here to our next field, or our next 2 fields actually. You're probably thinking which ones we're going to. You're probably right. I don't think the sprayer's ever even been down this road before. Also, the county really needs to come put some more gravel on this road. I know it's like a private road, or maybe I have to do it since I own the land, but I mean, it's right here at the elevator and everything, so I figured the county would have to come put gravel on this road, but it's turning into like a low spot, and there's grass growing, needs something. If I have to, I'll bring a trailer full of gravel out here and my skid steer and fill it in. But I figured the county would have to do it. It's not like they want to pave the roads in Alma, so it's the least they could do. Alright, that field is done already. Took us about 2 passes. But we've got to fold the booms up just a little bit so that we can fit in here. The bank and the tree line is very tight. But check out this wheat. Let me pull in here a little bit and I'll get out of the cab. Check out how good this looks. This is probably our tallest wheat we've ever had here on Alma. It looks super good. Look at me. It's about as tall as I am. It's up to my high waist or my chest, something like that. I don't know. It's tall, and it's a nice super greenish color. So yeah, I'm expecting some high yielding wheat this year. And the reason I'm surprised is because this is one of our newer fields, so it's doing this good on a newer field. That's always something to be proud of. And then look at these rolling hills on this field. I still can't get over how hilly this field is. It's gonna be a time getting the grain cart up and down these hills. So we might be hooking up the 9420T to the grain cart this year whenever we do wheat. Just to have a little more ground pressure, some power. 9320's got enough, but 100 extra horsepower won't matter because that's a heavy wagon. Hopefully we can get all these fields done over here without having to go back to the farm and refill. Or I might call Owen down. Just tell him to bring the truck or the farm truck, my truck, and hook up to that sprayer tender and put some herbicide in it and come fill me up. I might do that, but I could always make a trip back to the farm. Or maybe we don't even have to at all. We might be able to just get all this spraying done before we head back to the farm. Alright, another field down. We're going to fold up and head to the old farm now. Hopefully we've got enough herbicide. We probably don't, but we can go ahead and get started at the old farm. We've got 2 fields to spray there. Now we're going to go ahead and start spraying some corn. We've got most of our soybeans. Actually, I think all of our soybeans have been sprayed for weeds. So yeah, soybeans are done. We may have, we got a few fields of wheat, and then the rest is corn we've got to spray. I think we've got about 7 or 8 fields left, so this shouldn't take too much longer, and then we'll be able to probably go ahead and start getting the hay up that we cut the other day. Gotta wait on the railroad crossing again. Train's been rolling in and out of this place with all the soybeans, and people are selling so much stuff right now. Farmers are hauling it to the market right now. Not the market, the elevator. I'm talking corn, soybeans. I've been seeing trucks come flying up the dirt road. Luckily for us, we got a head start on all that, and we got it all sold before trains and everything were delayed, so that's a good thing for us. But yeah, the old farm, here we come. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start up here at the road and work our way down. We're not even gonna bother going in there. The corn looks really good and tall. It's a very nice color, but there are a lot of weeds. Cobs look good. This is a different kind of hybrid seed in this field. I think this is Pioneer corn. Most of it is all Pioneer, but this is a different kind of Pioneer. We've never done this hybrid before, so it looks a lot taller than the corn we're used to, but it looks good. And then we'll just fire the sprayer up and get this field done. This corn's probably just a little bit too tall to be doing this in, but it's working. But that's me out, so we'll head back to the farm and grab some more herbicide. I was just going to get somebody come fill me up, but I will just go down here myself and grab some more, just so that Owen doesn't have to drag that tender out from in the shop. And we'll go ahead and start filling, and then we will head back to the field. Got a little 1,300 gallon tank on here, so yeah, it fills up pretty quickly. This tank seems like we need 3 or 4 dang of them hoses on here filling this thing. We ain't got time to just fill sprayers up all day. We gotta spray weeds. But no, it's all good. We got nothing but time today. Summers are usually either really like a mixture between super fast and slow, or they're either just go non-stop. And this one, I was saying it was going to be a really busy summer, but I mean, it's been pretty mediocre, right? Like, it hasn't been anything like it was 2 years ago, because that was a hectic summer whenever we were trading out combines, and I can't really remember what all we did that summer, but we did a lot. Summer of it might have even been year 4 or 5, but I want to say it was 4. That was the year we had tons and tons of wheat to harvest, so yeah, we were always doing something. And it was that winter wheat, so it was right in the hay cutting season and everything else we were doing. We had to stop and cut weed. It was a pretty hectic summer. But, boring is not a bad thing. Not at all. I will never take a boring summer as a bad thing. I mean, we've been busy, but nothing like we usually are. So yeah, I thought it was going to be a really busy summer, but things change, I guess. Alright, there we go. Another field down, and we'll just cross the dirt road right here and start working on this. This corn right here actually does look pretty good too. This is a slightly different type of hybrid of Pioneer, but looks really good too. So yeah, we're getting this field done. It's probably going to take a little while because it is a big field, but I'm going to get GPS rolling on here, and I will meet up with you guys whenever we get done with this field. Okay, so we have made it back to the dairy. I'm grabbing some more herbicide because, well, we got that field done that we were working on, the big one, but we ran out of herbicide. And then these are the fields we have left. We've got this field of wheat, this field of corn, and then these 2 are corn, and then some soybeans. We're practically done with spraying, so yep, it's just going to be me getting the rest of it done. And then also, you guys might remember him if you've been watching the series since the very start. One of my good buddies, I got into contact with him at the very, very start of Alma on the Map Challenge, and he actually brought his equipment down to the old farm, and we tore down that old dairy barn, I think it was, or the big red barn that was in the middle of the old farm. Well, he has said he would do the job and tear down this shop right here, which now that I take a good look at it, doesn't even look like it's from the early 2000s. It's had some stuff done to it. Looks like new gutters and maybe some new doors and everything. But yeah, this shop is just not doing any good for us. We had to put the hydraulic door back down manually, which was no fun at all, so there's nothing in there right now. And then obviously this pole shed over here, we might do something with it or we might just flatten it, but he said he would come back and do the job. He does a great job for us, so he'll probably be bringing his stuff here in the near future, and we'll say goodbye to these buildings and have some new ones up. But I am probably gonna have to take out a loan to do that. Not a big one, but I don't know if $107,000 will cut it right now, or $107,000. And then we've also got to get that hay up, and then in August we're gonna start chopping our corn. So yeah, we've got plenty of stuff to do this summer, and right now I am just waiting on the sprayer to fill up. So I'm gonna keep working on stuff in the shop. But with all that being said, you guys, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.